Is the 1.13 update worth screaming about? Well, he definitely thinks so. Hey guys, a few side notes before I jump into things. A huge thank you for the love and support that this channel receives from you guys, as well as a special thank you to the survivors who helped me within the game. Catch all the details as well as the patch notes within the description box below. So guys, with that being said, let's see what the 1.13 update has to offer the DAYZ Xbox One community. Depending on how you see it, this could be good or bad news as official servers will be getting the wipe, and the update will be available on the 13th of this month. So let's get into it and see what has been added, fixed or changed, and as always I hope you enjoy. They have added the new M16A1 rifle, firing the 5.56 45 rounds and using the same attachments as the M4A1. For added security, make sure to use the new 60 round standardized mag. They have also introduced the burst fire mode. I definitely see this being effective at mid-range engagements. If long range is needed, try the ATOG 6x scope. The KA-74 and KAS-74U gets the new 45 round magazine. Cuts treated by unclean rags can get infected now, and they've added a disinfectant stat to the item tooltip. There is now a sound added to let you know that you are starving, handy for players who play with their hubs off. They have added the fever symptom to influenza. You will now experience a radial blur effect when being hit by AI or a player. For medics, we have the iodine tinctures, handy for infections but also very rare to obtain. If being up close and personal is more your style, then make sure to get your hands on the new Oriental machete or the crude machete. Both machetes will make short work of any opponent that you come across. Infected are now attracted by smoke grenades, flare gun flares, and fireplaces during nighttime. If that wasn't bad enough, they have added 4 new special types of infected. These include the runner, heavy police, heavy soldier, and military officer. However, I only managed to spot 2 out of the 4 infected on my adventures. This update does not fall short when it comes to fixes. You can no longer break down improvised bags while they have items in them. Dark visor motorbike helmets are now held correctly. Gas masks now obstruct void properly and consistently. Grenades would not damage attached containers, aka the pot bomb. Gas pumps now display the correct name when destroyed. Bayonets can now be used to perform backstabbing actions. They have fixed an exploit for stacking containers into each other or onto each other. The wrong health widget color was shown when looking at dead animals. Loading a single bullet under certain conditions could result in a desync issue. Moving food items would disappear when moving from the cooking slot to the smoking slots. It is no longer possible to boil food in gasoline. It is also no longer possible to bury or dig multiple stashes at the same position. The patrol jacket had an incorrect position when held in hands. Transferring incompatible blood types was not triggering hemolytic actions. Seeds could not be detached from garden plots via the contextual actions. They have fixed unwanted AI behavior to thrown items. Infected also did not react to explosives. Infected now leave unconscious players alone if there is no other target around. Dispatching yourself with a sickle now has sounds to it. Camo nets will now render over a longer distance when placed over a canopy tent. Plant slots were not displaying as watered or fertilized after the plant grew by 1 stage. They fixed a bump in the stairs of the castle tower, so no more getting stuck going up or falling off when coming down. Some buildings were problematic and blocked shots. They have adjusted player damage zones to the shoulders and a small part of the legs to the torso, as well as reduced the health damage taken by hits to the arms. While legs get a reduction to the amount of shock damage when hit, and arms will no longer be protected by vest. Fireplaces will now break up when thrown. The screwdriver will now allow you to harvest bark, and the pliers now opens cans. Fishing rods can be crafted from sharpened long sticks. Removing a plant from a plot will require the slot to be re-watered and fertilized again. For some realism, matches cannot be used to light a fire if they aren't dry. Armor vests require more space in the inventory. Unconsciousness times is now modified depending on the round that hits the player. Saws will last 60% longer when sawing planks. They have reduced the amount of shots to ruin a suppressor depending on the suppressor and the caliber of the bullet. The FX45 is now more durable, allowing more shots before getting damaged. They have reduced the weight of fireplaces, and players will now spawn in with half-used bandages instead of rags. One of my favorite changes is that all infected attacks can now be blocked. When it comes to the infected, be it the old infected or new infected, they all have been tweaked in some way to make DayZ a little more exciting. I will be making a separate video about them as there are too many points to cover about them in this update video. Crouch sprinting is now louder than crouch walking but quieter than upright jogging. Central economy loot changes will now spawn in 25% fewer vehicle parts. Weapons will now spawn in with magazines having at least one bullet in them, as well as assault rifles spawning only with basic attachments. Pioneer rifles now have fixed spawning values. The KA-74 rifles are no longer counted in the hoarder type containers to match the new M16A2 rifle. And last on the list, they have reduced the random quantity of vitamin bottles that appear in the world. So guys, I hope this was informative and helped you in some way. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, drop me a like if you learned something new, and please leave me a comment on which is your favorite add, fix and change that you've been waiting for in the comments. And I'll catch you in the next one.